Hi, and welcome to Happy Creating with Mrs. G. Today I'm going to show you how to do a really cool technique that's called a watercolor salt painting. So if you like creating this with me, remember to please subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Begin with a thick piece of paper like a cardstock paper or watercolor paper, and then begin drawing a star at the top of your piece of paper, followed by a curved line. That curved line is going to get bigger as you go down the paper to represent a tree. You're going to draw some small horizontal lines at the bottom that represent the trunk. Use your pencil to also add some small circles throughout your tree that can represent ornaments. You can add as many as you'd like, but make sure they're not touching the tree. You want to leave a little bit of space in between the curved lines and your ornaments. Next, you're going to get out your Elmer's glue, and you're going to start to trace over all of your pencil lines with your Elmer's glue. When I'm tracing my star, I'm also filling in the inside of the star with the Elmer's glue. Now begin tracing your curved pencil line with the glue. Then use your glue to also make sure you're outlining the ornaments, and even make sure you're outlining the tree trunk, the horizontal lines you drew with your glue. Now we're going to begin covering all of the glue with salt. It's kind of like if you were using glitter to cover up glue, but we're just using salt. So you want to make sure that there is salt covering every single thing that you traced with your glue. You want that glue to be covered with salt. Now any leftover salt that's left, you either want to dump into the trash can or into a bowl. If you dump it into a bowl, this salt is something that you can use later, not for cooking, but for craft purposes. And now we're going to begin the painting process. So get your watercolor paints prepared. So I'm going to use yellow for the star at the top of the tree. So I'm just going to make sure my yellow watercolor paint is really juicy. And I'm not really painting the star. I'm just kind of dabbing the yellow paint on top of the salt, and that paint is actually going to spread out. You're going to notice the paint spreading as you dab the paint on. So you're going to very just carefully keep continuing to add colors. So now I'm going to get green for the tree, and you really want that paint to be juicy and wet. So when you dab the paint on top of the salt, it will start to spread. You'll really be able to see this when you start working on yours. So continue using the green all the way through the whole tree, remembering that you're not painting the paint on. You're actually more just kind of touching the paint on top of the salt until it starts to spread. And continue doing that down the whole entire tree. We're going to use the same process to add brown to the tree trunk. So make sure the brown is nice and juicy, and just touch the paintbrush on top of the salt. So remember, you're not painting, you're just touching that brown paint on top of the salt. And the last thing you're going to do is go back in with some colors, make the paint really juicy, and you're just going to touch the top of each ornament with that paint and watch that paint spread, watch that color spread on those different ornaments. You can use the same color for each ornament, or you can use lots of different colors. That's up to you. So keep adding different colors until all of your ornaments have been painted. And then you just need to let your tree dry. This probably needs to dry overnight, and you'll see in the morning that the salt has begun to crystallize with the watercolor paints. I hope you enjoyed watercolor salt painting. Happy creating!